Afrika mahle, botani bantu bomquba. Igama lami ndinguSilindile wakwalufele. Umampingu umbhalo kaqosha into umntwana ingabe nobuya ifuna abantwana ifuna abadala. Welcome to Unscramble Life with Slee. Mamelani ke guys, I want to thank you so much. You've been with me kule journey from day one. Umsebenzi wenu ndiyawubona, but when I go subscribe right now, please subscribe, ulike, ushare, ucommente. Namhlanje ke bethu naniphethe ubhuti omkhulu igama lakhe nguWisdom. And on top of that, he's very wise. Kuye kushiwo ke naseBhayibhelini kuthiwa ixesha ninzi funeka ucele ubuhlakani nokuba ucele ezinye izinto, because with the moment you are wise, everything else unfold. But I want to welcome you. Ndicela wazise abantu namhlanje abangakwaziyo, and thank you so much for giving me your time. I know you're a busy person, but you are here with me today.
No, thank you so much. Yes. For such an honor, and a privilege for me to be here. Unscrambled Life.
Yes.
with Slee.
With Slee. Yes, we need. I mean, amaqanda mos yabona ubanyana. You take them and then you beat and then you start scrambling. Now we're trying to, lay out. There's so much happening in our lives, so let's try to unscramble them.
No, I love the name. The name. Yes, like you said, my name is Onkarabile Wisdom Mokoto, and I'm an award-winning author. I'm a professional speaker. I'm an online talk show host. I also do what you're doing.
Yes.
Today it's vice versa. The interviewer is being interviewed.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I believe it's going to be a very good experience.
Yes, I'm so excited because we're going to try to unfold everything, and I hope sizokhona ukuphendula imibuzo yabanye abantu who want to know about you, right?
Yes, definitely.
And now, ziningi izinto that we have achieved. Like there's a lot, and you're still humble, right? Yes. What keeps you being humble? Because we've experienced people ababane fame 2 cents, and they forget who they are, they forget where they've been and where they should be going. Onkarabile ungubani, if someone were to ask Onkarabile regarding in a few words.
I always say these words and people laugh when I say Onkarabile is just a simple person.
Yeah.
I'm a very simple person. I'm a man of principles and godly principles, and I believe they are the ones that makes me to be Onkarabile, still Onkarabile that is known, Onkarabile that is on TV, that is well known internationally.
Yes.
But still remains Onkarabile, simple Onkarabile.
Yes.
It's because of the godly principles, And I believe one of the things that, and I've detailed this in my book, in one of my book titled The Greatest Battle Ever Fought, and I said, one day I prayed to God and I said, God, if you can make me famous one day, I want to, react differently towards people. Because I've seen a lot of people, like you are saying now, a lot of people who, when they have achieved certain things, they begin to become arrogant, have pride. And I prayed to God, I said, God, please, if you can make me one day to be known,
keep me grounded.
Exactly. You lift them up. Exactly. So that's the prayer that I've made, and I'm doing my best to live according to that prayer. That Lord, please ground me, make me humble. Because, the trick here is that I am what I am because of people. Your show, you just thanked your viewership, your viewers now. Your show it becomes what it is because of the people.
Yes.
So you cannot want to be arrogant as if people don't. You are made by people. You are who you are because of people. So why are you now pretending or actually behaving like you don't need people, whereas they are the one who made you who you are? If people don't watch your show, then there's no your show.
I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be sitting here.
Exactly.
Because of a band.
Yes, we believe that people are going to watch our seat, like you said in the beginning. So we need people.
Yes. Mr. Humble Man. Where were you born?
I was born and raised in the Northwest Province, in Mahikeng. Yes, they have changed it rather. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, but you are still Chisanyana. You're still Chisa, not Chisanyana. You're still chasing. Oh, is it? Nice.
Yes,
nice.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So my highlight was what is that hotel? Palm. What do they call it?
I'm not sure if I...
No. Iko mabat. What is it? Palm Hotel, something. Yeah, Foods. I think they just recovered now.
Okay.
But yeah, those were my highlights.
That's why you were hiding there.
Yeah, and again, I ready goosebumps and come back, and getting narrative of ukuthi abatswana abantu abanjani, yeah, but yeah.
Okay, then you know where I'm born.
Yes.
That's where I was raised, in just a small place called Setlahole. That's where I went for my primary school and high school.
Yes.
But then I came to Johannesburg to finish my matric.
Okay.
Yes.
So Mozangala, were you following the parents or what?
That's a good question, actually. That's a good question. It's actually, that's where my journey began, actually.
Okay.
When I came to Johannesburg, I wanted to sing, to become a musician. Now, there is a musician, a 1980s musician, by the name of Sydney Mogopodi. He's a legend.
Okay.
I don't know if you know him.
Sydney Mogopodi.
You'll know it. No, I'm gonna sing a song now and you're gonna remember him. I know a lot of people when I talk about the name, they don't know the name, they know the song.
Okay.
Skababonavali softy so. Give mama's baby. Skababonavali softy so. Give mama's baby. That is the guy.
You are confident that I will know it.
Exactly. No, I know. I mean, the song is famous.
Yes.
There's no one who doesn't know the song.
Of course. Yeah.
So it was a hit in 1989.
Yeah.
So he's the one. He's from the same place that
okay.
like me. So I met him there one day when he came home, and I was aspiring after him, and I said, I want to be like you, And he said to me, but you are far, man, when you are in Northwest.
No, yeah.
Because I'm situated in Joburg.
And then how did you communicate with him?
He was, remember,
because you're from the same area.
Yeah, from the same
so
area.
Were you brave enough to go and confront, approach?
I like your question. This is what happened.
Yeah.
So I was still young by that time. So my mother went to the funeral. There was a funeral at his home.
Noted.
So he came for the funeral. So my mother went to the funeral. And I asked my mother, I said, please ask Sydney Mogopodi that I want to meet him.
Okay.
And my mother asked him on Saturday. Yeah. Then he said, yeah, you can come on Sunday before he goes back to Joburg. No. And on Sunday morning, I was there.
You couldn't sleep. I can imagine.
Couldn't sleep. I
can imagine.
And I'm telling you, I was so honored to just touch his hand for the first time, because I've been hearing his song, on radio, and, I've been seeing his albums, and it was the first time I met the man, just to shake his hand. I was blessed, and that's where then he told me, he said, no, I want to help you, but now you are far. If you can just be closer, that's where I can have that access to help you, And from that moment, I said, I'm going to make a way to come to Joburg. And that's how then I came to Joburg to come and meet. And
then who are you meeting now? The parents have to arrange in your klala for
No. Oh, by the way.
Or you had family, relatives.
I had some sisters staying at home already.
Noted.
But when I came to Joburg, I went straight to him.
Oh.
So I finished a week with him, where he sat me down and he taught me a lot about music. The strange part is that when I met the man was no longer singing those songs that we know.
Okay.
He was now singing gospel. He was now converted into Christian. He was now a born-again Christian. I was not a born-again Christian. And that's why he started preaching the word to me, and I received the word that he preached to me, And when I left, his place, and then I then came to my place where my sisters were staying, I then joined a church nearby. That's how.
So he planted the seed.
He planted the seed.
Oh,
that's how my Christian journey began. That's how my Christian journey began, to a point where now I realize that I'm not actually a musician. I'm not a musician actually, but I'm a speaker. That's how I discovered the gift of speaking.
The craft was born.
Exactly.
And how was it for you transitioning from, ngwana ko mahikeng ufitla yanong kwandonga ziyaduma kuthiwa inyama ipheli kuphela amazinyo endoda, giddy flesh and lights everywhere. The lifestyle is different. How was it for you transitioning?
As I'm saying, I think what grounded me was the Christian values, as I've said, principles. Because the moment I didn't waste time, the moment I left him, I continued with the seed that he planted, and I became a full-time Christian. I left everything that to do with what you call the world.
And then I'm so curious because there's a conversation I always have with Mr. Onkarabile that you just met.
Yes.
How do you define Christianity when angogwakho? Because we have so many people who calls themselves Christians who are doing things that are far from the Bible, who are very vocal on judging other people and all that. If I can give you an opportunity right now, I'm not putting you under the bus.
No, that's
but
good.
I think it's very important to understand each and every individual on how they perceive a Christianity. What is Christianity?
That's a good question, and I'm going to answer it like this. Christianity is taking me and taking the Bible and matching it together. If that is the same, that's what we call Christianity.
Yeah.
Christianity is living according to the Bible.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. According to the Bible. Nothing else. If it's less or is over the Bible, then that's not Christianity. It's something else.
As it said, that do not add or subtract.
Thank you so much. So, like you are saying today, if you want to locate a Christian, you take the Bible, you take the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Then that's where you locate a Christian.
Thank you. Can you tell me about the structure of growing up? How was the structure at home with your family?
Well, the structure of my family, and I think that's where the love of reading and writing was born. I have 2 sisters, and I had 4 brothers. Then the one is late. Sorry. Actually 3, sorry, because we are 3. So the one is late, so I'm left with 2 brothers. Okay. So we're 6 together, all of us. So the structure was very good. We grew up together in the same place. My mother was working in Johannesburg and my father. So I was groomed by my sisters and brothers.
Oh,
yes.
So nikuleni nodwa nina bazali while beyophanda ipape.
Yeah.
Love that.
Though on the later stage they came back together now when in their old age to come and live at home now. So we had a lot of time to live with them, when they were old. So that was the structure at home. The situation was not good. I think that's what makes me to be so persistent and consistent in wanting to change my life, because I told myself at a young age, I said, I want to change my life and I want to change my family's life.
And for your future kids, right?
Exactly, and for my future kids.
Yes, I love
it must not be like the way I was, So my family, my situation was not good at home. I struggled a lot, I remember I would go to a school without shoes sometime, without proper uniform. And you remember those days, the teachers they are not like the teachers of today, They will not understand the background of learners, They will just criticize you. Hey, you understand? Only to find out you don't have it. Exactly. Why is it so? Understand? They didn't understand.
I don't think they didn't understand. I think it was when the teachers were to understand, other than now, right? I know exactly what you mean. I can relate to what you're saying. Like, I can see you. I see you then.
Yeah, so...
In a confident corner, you are shallow, you hiding...
Exactly, yes.
Like, you're behind your shadow. Yes. Instead of you showing up, it's your shadow that is there.
Yes, exactly. And I think, when I was doing a Bachelor of Education, even though I did not finish it, but I pushed it all the way to 3 years, for 3 years. And one of the things, as I'm saying, the teachers of that time, I think the curriculum or the psychology side of education
and human behavior. I don't think then they were introduced to human behavior, psychology.
Yes. Exactly. That's where I'm going. That's what I've learned. And I remember they were during my second year at university. Limpopo Department of Education did a wonderful job. They had teachers, the old teachers, who came to Vets University. I was studying at Vets University. Yes, ma'am. I was at Vets. So they took the teachers, the ones who were working. They took them, and they said to them, "We're going to pay for your salary. We're going to pay for your accommodation. We're going to pay for your fees. Go back to university and start from scratch first year.
And ukhumbule, just to add on that, ukhumbule back then kwakune Bantu education.
Yes.
Our teachers, as long as grade 10 was
Exactly,
called standard
yes.
8, you were qualified to be a teacher.
Yes.
So there were no steps as about sociology, psychology.
Yes, exactly.
I'm with you.
Yes. So those guys, they came, and I was so humbled by those guys. They came. It was not easy, I'm telling you, because some of them were my classmates. I could see that it was not easy for them, but then you could see the difference, as I'm saying that, like the teacher, like now, if I was to be a teacher, I was not gonna, like I've been trained to understand the different religion of kids, the different background. You understand? I understand the ability of learners, different types of speciality, special learning. So they were not taught about that.
In a nutshell, we are wired differently.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah. So I grew up very, very, very hard, but I thank God that, that life has taught me to be who I am today.
Can I go back a bit? Someone said to me, I hated the fact that I worked so hard for me to be where I am today. I made a promise to myself that everything that is happening to me, I will change it in future. I worked hard. But now we have these people who still want us to go back and revisit our past. It's a past for a reason, and I don't want to revisit it. Manje decided ukuhamba ngayohlala ema-suburbs, right? And now, if I invite Onkarabile, because he was my friend growing up, I call him to come to the burbs, and they'll be like, why don't you come to me? And he said, being humble is relative. So is other things. So I choose to be humble. Would say I know where I'm from, but I choose not to go back to my past. What do you think about that? Do you think should we perceive such people as being arrogant, or they forgot where they're coming from when they don't want to revisit those things that when they think about, they make their world changes? I mean, when you think about your past, like it gives a different feeling. And there are people who choose to close that chapter. Should we judge them?
No, I don't think we must judge them. I mean, it depends on the reason why must you revisit your past. As I'm saying that, for me, I'm saying my past has made me who I am. My past has made my journey, it's part of my journey. I cannot separate my past from my journey. Like you very well ask me from the beginning, my growing up, how was it? How did I came to Johannesburg? And this is what I've been for the past 8 years rather, in my writing journey. I've been singing the same song when I speak about my journey. I cannot leave the musician legend, Sydney Mogopodi, because that's how my journey began. I always, 2 weeks back, not long, 2 weeks back, I was on Sydney FM, and they asked me the very same question. How did you come to Johannesburg? What is your journey? And I spoke about Sydney Mogopodi, and I sang the song like I'm doing with you now.
and everybody was vibing with
exactly,
you. Got it.
Because I understand that when I mention Sydney Mogopodi, people don't know Sydney Mogopodi. So always, I was on Swear to TV. I did the same thing. I mentioned the man and I spoke, I sang the song. Because the lady, I think the lady is still young, so she doesn't know Sydney Mogopodi. I think early 2000, the presenter.
Yeah.
So I sang the song and she then knew the song.
She understood, she resonated.
Exactly. So my point is, I cannot separate that from my journey. I will always talk about that man when I talk about my journey, So it depends on the reason why are you revisiting your journey. So if that particular person does not see the reason of revisiting the journey, then why should we judge the person?
I love it.
And it is not a sin that the person has chosen to live in a certain place and does not want to go back to. No, that is not pride.
Yeah.
That is not, that is a decision that he has made. Because what is pride?
What is pride?
What is it that he's doing that is making someone not happy? Because sometimes we need to understand, people will just It's the same thing like when you have money. People say, this person has changed. He says, of course you're going to change when you have money.
I mean,
exactly. Yes.
So the chunk one.
Exactly. You understand?
What do they call it?
And stuff like that.
No, ngiyayibona ichisanyama kunalento sikhule thina sibiza ngokuthi KFC yethu yasistra despite mawutwana.
Oh, mawutwana and stuff. Exactly.
Chicken dust.
Oh, yes. You understand?
So ngiziphakamisela ukuthi I've had a fair share of chicken dust, and ngesikhathi ngidla chicken dust imagine layer lamb shank layer.
Exactly. You understand what I'm saying? Exactly. You understand? So I mean, you're gonna change when you have money.
Yeah.
Money. The Bible says actually, money answers everything. Money is the answer for everything.
God yasho nje ukuthi it's the root of all evil.
It says not. It's not. It does not say the root. Let's correct that.
Okay.
And it's there in my book actually. There. What I'm saying now, I've corrected the same thing.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, I said many people are saying money is the root of evil, but that's what the Bible does not say that. Rather, the Bible says the love of money is the root of evil. The love, not money. No, money is not. I mean, money is like a house. Money is like a house. Money is like a car. You know, money is like
you bought a house
ngemali.
You bought a car ngemali. So it is that.
It is that.
Love it.
You know, it is that. So whatever you love, that will make you not to love God. That is a sin. It's not only money. Whatever you love more than God, that is a problem. It's not only money. You know, you can love your house more than God. Why you don't even accommodate people?
You can love yourself.
You can love yourself more than God. You know, it's like this. As I'm saying, it's not only money that is the root of evil. It's just that money, it has a certain aspect of portraying the character of people, and it actually exposes
who you really are.
Because people are hiding, you know, behind poverty. Some people are hiding behind poverty.
Because that time fanele ncengile usucabanga ukuthi wayikokobetsa ke rekana because of batla ntho batla.
Yes. Hence another man said, you cannot tell me about humbleness if you don't have money.
Can you please say that again? You can never tell me about humbleness
if you don't have
money.
When you are poor. Because some people, as I'm saying, some people are hiding behind poverty. When someone is poor, someone is humble.
Poverty will humble you, yes, they say.
Give that person money and let's see. So true humbleness, like you said earlier, I like your question. Like you said earlier, it's not only about money, it's also fame. People who are famous, some of them are arrogant.
Yeah.
But believe me, there are good people who are famous out there. There are good people who are rich out there. You understand? Yeah. So you cannot say really the money is the root of evil, but the love of money. Because there are people who are rich who have money, but they use that money for good things. Yeah. So why are we saying money is the root of evil?
Yeah. And I'm glad that I feel like you're speaking my language as much as but we speak in the same language. So I need to understand. I mean, the moment Onkarabile, I see an author, I see a creative, I see someone, we see someone who's pouring his heart and mind through the paper. You remember back in the days they were writing with feathers.
Yes.
So when are you pouring from your heart and brains?
That's correct.
That's how I see Onkarabile.
That's correct.
What inspired you instead of, as you said, that the first thing that when are you good at it was singing?
Yes.
And then when are you good at it?
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Let's start it like this. So after I became born again Christian and I started becoming a full-time Christian, I then begin to understand or learn rather to share the word of God with other people.
Yes.
The same thing someone has shared the word of God. I was encouraged also to share the word of God with other people. And there is a scripture that changed my life, you know, that says and that also made me a speaker, by the way. It says, I'm just paraphrasing it.
Yes.
Jesus was saying this, if you are ashamed of me, I will also be ashamed of you before the Father. Yes. You understand? So that scripture, because, and I have to emphasize this, I grew up very shy. I was very shy when I grew up.
I beg to differ.
I believe so. I believe I was very
Your
shy.
nature, you are shy, but you have to do what you have to do at that time that you have to do it.
You understand? So, but when I became born again and when I read that scripture, I then said, shyness is not part of this. I'm not going to be able to do this. And then because I was scared, I said, if I don't speak about God, God will not speak about me. Jesus will not speak about me. No, let me help myself. Let me speak about Jesus. Then that's how we begin to share the word of God. We had some group with other gentlemen. The name was Ambassadors of Christ. It was the name.
Ambassadors of Christ.
The Ambassadors of Christ, yeah. That was our name. Then we gave ourselves that name.
Now, let's episode.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I'm with my sisters now.
Yeah.
And then we begin to share the word of God at school, at hospital, at clinics, all over. Even where we were staying, we begin to share the word of God.
Yeah.
And that's how then I begin to see that gift of speaking, And I forgot about music.
As you're speaking, I just forgot what he ask and you will give, seek and you will find.
Yes.
Nothing better than a living God. But now, go figure that part. Shyness not my future, but you are.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now we are wakafanele ukuthi ukwazi ukuthi ume phambi kwabantu and ukwazi futhi, because I believe that into ikhuluma ngomlomo, as I always say, be careful of what you say.
Yeah.
Because you cannot reverse it. So is something that you've written. Even if ungayicima uyirape, but it's there, it stamps it all.
Miles Monroe said, if you can speak, you can write. Like you say. So what happened to me is that, okay, when I was at Vets University, I joined a Christian movement there, and I was also a full-time Christian at university. And I know a lot of people say,
and
university.
were you still studying education at that time?
Yes, I was studying education.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will say, at university, there's a lot of sin, there's no God. That is not true. It's a myth.
So you get also say you speak bungekabhali.
No.
And then when did you start writing?
So I started writing. I'm trying to actually
go there.
Yeah, go there. So I remember I used to share a lot about the topic, how to hear God when He speaks. I used to share
hear God when He speaks.
So I used to share about that topic even at university.
I don't mean to cut you.
Okay.
I once heard we've got two voices, but we should always listen to the silent one than the loudest one.
Mina, in my book, I say we have 3 voices, not 2.
Please walk me through. Take me to that.
But before that, can I just finish this one?
Yes.
So I used to share a lot about that book. I mean, not that book, that message. Yes.
Listen.
Exactly.
Listen to God when He speaks.
Yeah. So because I learned
Does it
to
say
hear God.
hear or listen? Hear God.
No, hear.
Hear God when He speaks.
So because I began to hear God a lot when I was at university.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where then I started sharing with other Christians and stuff. And after university, when I was at home, now a full-time Christian also, I began to love the topic and I will share it with other people living at home. And one day I said, no, man, this topic, why don't I put it in a book? I've shared a lot about this topic.
But to make it stable.
And also reach a lot of people. That's where then in 2017, I penned down How to Hear God When He Speaks. And that's the book that opened other books.
That's the book that opened other books and other minds.
Other minds, yes.
And I want to know, I have a sit with many people and I've heard different perspectives when it comes to support. Do you think you're receiving a support as anticipated? I know maybe when you were writing, as you said, you were speaking, but you thought of writing so that it can reach many people. What was your vision and mission when you started writing?
I love that. I love that question. In 2016, I was in church worshiping. God spoke to me. And we must not forget about the question that you asked about the voices. God spoke to me and He said, that time I was busy drafting the book. And he spoke to me about 5 things that the book will do for me. God spoke to me before. It was 2016.
Yes.
I published my book in 2017. God gave me
the one you,
How to Hear God When He Speaks. That's my first book.
Yes.
God spoke to me about 5 things.
Yes.
And I'm just going to mention 2. And God said to me, the book will make you famous. That's number 1. Number 2, the book will bring income to you. Okay. Number 3, I will give you bonus. Number 3, the book will open doors for you. These 2, I will just pause. So when I wrote the book in 2017, when I published the book in 2017, I already knew what the book will do. Although, when these things happens, you don't really have that much faith, or you don't foresee them like the way you have been told.
And sometimes you go back and said, God, you said
yes,
this.
It's like
why
things
is
are not
it not happening? Because you promised me.
Exactly. It's like things are not happening, But I think in my case, God showed me, especially when I published now the second book. Actually, the same year I published, because it was February, How to Hear God When He Speaks. September, I published the book titled Power of Planning. After that book, same year, I appeared on the Star newspaper.
Star laphayana April.
Star newspaper.
And
now listen to the good part. That time, I was working in a hotel as a security guard. That time.
For 6 years?
Yes. So, during that time, when the Star newspaper came out, I was at work. Wow. A lot of people did not know what I'm doing, especially managers of the hotel. Now, the newspaper came out. The security manager, by the name of Norman Mashaba, I will not forget this guy, Norman Mashaba. He took the newspaper, he showed the management of the hotel. They were shocked. This guy is the one who's standing there by the door.
What year was this? 2017.
It was 2017. Yes. This guy is the one who's standing there by the door. They didn't know. They were just passing me around. And the guy gave them the newspaper. I remember the title of the newspaper was Security Guard Takes to the Bookshelves. Oh my God. It was like the big title.
Security guys takes it to the bookshelf.
Yes, shelves. The security guard takes it to the bookshelves. That was the heading of the article. And every manager read the newspaper. And from that day, their eyebrows, they begin to raise their eyebrows.
They see you differently now.
They begin seeing me differently.
Yeah.
It was the first time when the GM came to me and shook my hand and said to me, "Well done, you have made us proud." Wow. And that's how I actually worked for the hotel
that you're currently now.
That I'm currently working, no longer as a security guard, and now working for the hotel.
Look at God. But now, did you apply for?
I did not apply for the job.
They saw that you are capable.
They saw that I'm capable. I did not do the interview.
Hey guys, double standards.
And listen to this. The strange thing. I never studied hospitality. Like I've said, I've studied education.
Of course.
I didn't even finish education.
But why did you drop out?
It's also a good question. Yeah. I dropped out because, like I've said, remember what I've said.
3 years down the line, you were only left with a year. Bro.
Remember what I've said. When I was at university, I started being devoted to God. And I started hearing God a lot. Now, I received a call that I must, because I was still serving God when I was there. But then I believed that I wanted to serve God full time.
Okay.
That's what made me to drop at school. So I dropped to become a full-time minister.
So you left what was structured to something that you were passionate about.
Yes, thank you so much. That's exactly what happened.
It's so crazy. And I want to get into it a bit. I remember my son growing up, he was that person, he's very good with maths and sciences. And he kept on saying that he want to be into medicine. And then grade 11, he told me that he's opting to agric.
Okay.
And I felt so betrayed, right? And we spoken about it. I was like, but we had dude, we had a plan. You're gonna do medicine. Now you decided to do agriculture. How come? He said, when I stepped into grade 10 and we're doing agriculture practical, and every day looking at other students because of Klali boarding school, bedla izinto esizitshalile. It makes me proud to know that we're providing for them. And it made me to realize being into agriculture, no matter how the economy be, people will still have to eat. And I'm so passionate about it. And I said, but that's not what we played. He said, Mama, this is my life. And I'm passionate of this. I'm scared that I will opt to what you want me to do to make you proud, but I won't enjoy any second of it.
Yeah.
So I hear you. I know someone right now, it doesn't make sense to them. What you left on the 3rd year to go for something that was spiritually driving you.
Yeah. No, definitely. And this is what I've detailed, what you are saying now. I like it because I've detailed that in my 4th book titled Profit from Your Gift. And I encourage people to actually discover their God-given talents, gifts, and monetize them and profit from them. And I make example about a lot of people, you go to soccer, go to sport, you get people like Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah. Look at Unscrambled Life with Slee, monetizing it. Exactly. It's my gift.
You understand? Yes. That's what I'm encouraging in that book.
Yes.
And I'm actually criticizing 4 sectors there. And one of the sector that I'm criticizing, 2 sectors rather, is overparenting, which is what you're saying now. Overparenting. And number 2 is education system.
But what is to overparent and what is the education system? I got angry, right? Obviously, actually, I'm going to reveal my age. Guys, I'm still only 2000. But I remember back in the days, we started with Bantu education. And then from Bantu education, we were into FTE or something. And I remember when I was now doing grade 10, 11-ish, OBE was introduced. And when OBE was introduced, when you Googled about it, it was to discover Wuti in the USA is for poor people.
What is it?
And then it's a syllabus for people who can't afford, and in my head I was like, so our whole president, Jacob Zuma, usukile lana. I don't recall whether it was Jacob Zuma or Thabo Mbeki.
I think it was Thabo Mbeki by that time. I think
so uhambile wayosayinela i-OBE for us. It didn't make sense. It didn't.
Yeah.
But we had to respect that. So I hear you talking about being overparenting, yes, and the system of education. Please walk me through.
Okay. So let me start with education system.
Yes.
Which is the first thing that I'm criticizing.
Yes.
I'm saying education system has robbed us not to actually value our God-given talents and gifts. Why I'm saying this is because at school, yes, you will never be taught to make money out of your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never be taught on how to make money as an actor.
Yes.
You'll never be taught how to make money as a soccer star.
We're talking about the foundation phases.
You'll only be taught to become a doctor, teacher, social worker, such things. But you will not be taught on how to discover your gift and actually make money out of that. Parents will say to you, if you tell them that, I want to go.
Musician.
Hey, don't come here with such thing. Don't come here. Hey, soccer. Exactly. You understand?
Yeah.
Then, no, don't tell me about that. And a lot of kids grow up hating those God-given talents or gifts and only focusing on education, careers, not gifts, careers. Because there's a difference between career and a gift.
Yeah, but it's 2 different things.
Exactly. So hence I'm saying I'm criticizing education system a lot there. Overparenting is what I just said now. To say a parent, a learner will come and say, "I want to be an actor." Say,
Like I'm living my dreams that I couldn't accomplish through my child. And as last I saw TikTok, China. Do you know in China they want to discover kids' gifts and passion from kindergarten. Sibizi crash lana ne. Those kids bafuna ukayina ukuthunga uye ngadini at the age of less than 5 years. How I wish singenza lokho in our country where let's groom them bese bancane so that mabese befika to that upper level they are excelling it.
In my book that I just called Profit from Your Gift.
Yes.
I actually mentioned that about China. And this is the research that I have found.
Yes.
A lot of parents in China, they do what we call homeschooling. Why? Because they have realized that the school system or education system does not cater for the strength of their kids.
Do you think is the system yes brainwash kancane or
not kancane?
Yes, brainwash.
Yes, not
like
kancane.
it what is this word? It's
channels. Yes.
Program.
Yes.
You know, talking about that, I remember I think I was 10 years old. I had a conversation with my late uncle talking about the Bible. So because it only made sense give me later on. He said to me, a Bible was meant to program us to be in a peaceful space and to see life ngendlela efanayo. And then I watched the movie Equilibrium. I think it was 2002. How I saw everything that was there. That's how I think my uncle was saying, and how the education it is. You know, right now, if I can ask you what is photosynthesis, you forgot, but you had to excel then. What was photosynthesis and other things? Fine, I know about geology, about agric, which is beneficial for them. But was it beneficial for me?
No.
So it's very important for ukuthi system yethu ithatha umntwana imbeke and observe ukuthi what are they good at, and then proceed from there.
Unfortunately, our education system does not do that, and it does not promise to do it very soon. Unfortunately.
Do you think one day we will get there?
If we have people like us who write books like that, you know, who have conversations like that. You know, people like me and you who are now talking about this.
Yes.
If we have a lot of people coming up with such conversation, yes, definitely.
I love that.
Yeah, definitely we will reach there.
And then now let's talk about the importance of reading, right? I was listening, but it was Ukhozi FM where they were mentioning in Indaba yokuthi the problem with us not reading, it even dismisses our grammar. And we still expect and dream to go far in life and go to other countries, but we don't read. How important it is to read.
Oh, yeah, now you are touching my heart. I will never forget my middle school teacher by the name of Mem Maduku. She used to say to us, guys, read everything, even magazine, even newspaper, even if it is the old magazine or old newspaper.
Yeah.
Just read. Yeah. This will help you to enhance your vocabulary.
Yeah.
This will help you to enhance your language.
And even making sense to the sentence, because omunye umuntu ufuna ubhala ubin of a plant, ubhala ubin we dustbin.
Exactly. You understand?
Omunye ubiza ubin of where have you been? Something like that. I love that.
And I'm telling you, I was one of the people who were touched by what that lady, and I started doing that. I remember when I grew up, people they used to, my peers, they used to criticize me. I would turn this long because I'll speak English, you know.
Back in the days when you that
exactly, yeah, you understand. Yes, you understand.
Will gain more enemies.
Yes, you'll get more enemies. Like whether you
yeah.
And I'm telling you, Because remember, in rural area, it's not like in Joburg where you have private schools and stuff like that, or those schools that can enhance
your even your articulation.
Yes,
even
exactly.
your accent.
Yes, you understand. So, but when I came to Joburg, I actually applied what that lady said, and when I came to Joburg, I realized that this lady was right.
Yeah, I mean, between ey'koleni zethu nelokishini ufundiswa everything in language yakho.
Exactly. Now listen to the trick part.
Yeah.
When I got to university, now there's nothing like Setswana there.
Yeah.
And remember, I'm at Wits now. English, obviously, if you invest English,
It's the first
language. I remember one day there was an English teacher at university. I was doing English as part of actually first year as a teacher. English was compulsory for you to do it as a language. I did it. One day the lecturer called all of us. He said, guys, please, if you know you're struggling in English, please remain. I want to give you a guidance on how to improve your English. I remained. I remained. I said, oh my God, I want
pride eceleni. I think that can make everybody's life easy if everybody could understand that English is just a language.
Yes.
It's more like when you want to learn Xitsonga or French
or
anything. Yes. It doesn't measure your intellect.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It will just help you, like we are saying, that it is international.
But we are charged when we can't speak proper English. As if it's your language.
As I'm saying, we talk about when we grew up.
Yeah.
Those people didn't understand that English is like a language, any other language. The only difference of English is that English is international, it's national and international. So you're gonna need English to.
It's a universal language.
It's universal. Thank you so much.
Yes.
You understand. So that lecturer said we must remain. Other people left. I said okay. I remained. But listen to the what is shocking. The lecturer said, guys, all of you are remaining. You want to improve in English? You said yes. We are waiting for a secret, for a weapon that the lecturer is gonna give us. The core. Yeah. And I've detailed this in my book. And the lecturer said, guys, the only thing that will make you to improve in reading is to read.
Nothing else. No YouTube, no nothing.
And he said, guys, reading. I'm not going to tell you anything else. You must read. And the lecturer went away. And people complained, the lecturer is trying. Lecturer who is this too man. But later, years later, I then remembered what the lecturer said.
Wow.
When I started becoming a reader, I started seeing change.
I have a friend who is on Mamsi. She's obsessed with reading. Mamsi reads. She reads more than me.
You cannot be a reader and remain the same. There's no way.
You cannot be a reader and remain the same. No. I love that.
Your life will change forever as a reader. So reading is very important. And also knowledge. A lot of knowledge is being transferred through books. So if you are
it's
documented. So if you hate reading, it means you hate knowledge. My mentor said, there are people who get paid for what they know, and there are people who pay for what they don't know. Let me repeat. There are people who get paid for what they know, and there are those who pay for what they don't know. And my mentor said, you must choose which category you fall in.
A guy who came in a seat with me, Obizongobanele Pusako, said, never do anything that you do best for free.
Repeat that again.
Never do anything that you do best for free.
Boom.
That's what he said.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So reading is very important. It will make you to be knowledgeable. Hence, I'm saying you cannot read and be ignorant. You will know things.
You'll never be a reader and still your life be the same.
No.
But now, I felt that it's important for me to ask you this question. I mean, right now we've been introduced to AI. What's your take on AI? Because meaning are lazy because you just do the search, and then it does everything for you. Where do you see us with this AI thing? Do you think is it a good idea for temporal? Do you think it's something that will make our kids more lazier? Because the Google alone, it makes our kids not to bring their best selves. Their research, it's limited, because when you go to Google, you literally find anything and everything, other than us back in the days where you had to, by trying to maybe go to a presentation, you had to go further and further. Nowadays, you just take, as long as you've got an internet, now we've got AI. What's your taking at AI?
Let me start with like the example that you made about Google. I remember during my school days, university days, they did not allow your research
from Google
unless that research was a book that is what is being posted there and is relevant to what you are doing, or rather it has been
affiliated.
And education has been recommended by education. Yes, that's what the way that I want. Has been recommended by the university. They will give you books. The lecturer will give you books that you must go and read. Because they knew that it is not everything that is on the internet that is true or that is legit. Everybody can post anything on the internet. That is the danger. Number one. We will never leave the traditional way of doing things permanently and thinking that other things will replace the traditional way. It is not true. It is the same like a lot of people will talk about the hard copies. To say a book with a hard copy is not important.
It will perish very. I've watched a movie one day where it says that very soon that the papers will perish. Everything will be into technology.
That is not true. It is not true. Everything, I said this in one of the interview on Soweto TV. I said, hard copies, or hard copy rather, have stood the test of time, and it will still stand the test of time. Look at work, in our workplaces. There's no way that we don't have paperwork. Even if we can have computers all over.
Signing a contract, like let's start just the contract.
The paper, writing. Traditional way will be always there. Answering your question, if we are going to ignore the traditional way of doing things, that's where we are going to miss it. But it is not everything that must be traditional. We must understand that life is changing also.
We evolve with time.
We evolve with times. For an example, my book cannot just be hard copy. I need to understand that there are people who will never reach this book like this. But rather, I can put it online, on the internet. And someone in the US will see the book. Someone in Nigeria will see the book, who might not see the book physically. You understand? So we also need to change and not be ignorant. So you must not be ignorant on both sides. We must balance things. That's what we have to do.
So now I want you to tell me about the challenges as a publisher. I was speaking to a friend of mine who's into organics. He wants to preach more about the lifespan, the importance of lifespan through organics and all that. I want you to tell me, how has it been a journey of publishing?
Yes. The journey of publishing, it's not easy. But it's possible. I always say this.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, but it's possible.
Yes.
Publishing, we have two ways of publishing.
Yes.
Number one, we have what we call traditional way of publishing. And number two is what we call self-publishing. Traditional way of publishing is the old one that we know, that you write a script and you want a publishing company, you submit your script, your manuscript rather, and then they will check if they like it, then they will publish it if they like it.
We've had, it's not a secret, and I'm not being a negative person, I remember when Bonang was the talk of the town with the grammar, the articulation, the intro, the bridge, the conclusion, everything.
The
they
wrong,
said it's
even birthday and stuff.
And the spellings and
Mm-hmm.
does it go back to the reading?
Yes.
Yeah. So you have to go through all that before you get to this.
Yes, exactly. So that's what we call traditional way of publishing.
Okay.
Right? Then number 2 is what we call self-publishing. Traditional way of publishing is now getting outdated. A lot of people come to me and say, hey, do you know a publishing company that can publish my book? And I said, I don't know. I don't even encourage that. Because why? Number 1.
Do you truly don't know, or you feel that you don't want to give them the easiest way?
Well, I know and I don't know at the same time.
Okay. Fair enough.
So
because what worked for you, it might not work for another
exactly.
person.
Yes, I do. I've actually a friend of mine, Jabulo. He actually has a publishing company where he helps people to publish.
Okay. Njabulo who?
Njabulo Mgomezulu.
Njabulo Mgomezulu.
He also helps people to publish. He has a publishing company. So when I say I don't know, I don't, because it's not that I don't encourage people to go to that route. But if someone just open and say no, I want traditional way, then I will encourage. Okay. I will suggest publishing company that I know. But disadvantage is that number 1, those people, you are in the midst of those people. They are the one who will determine if your book is published or what. So you might end up dying with your book without being published because they don't like your book. They don't like your style. Because remember, everyone has his own style. I mean,
and that's what makes you unique and outstanding.
Exactly. You don't just interview anyone on your show. Yeah. Come on.
Duh. Can you please say that again? I'm so sorry, guys.
No, it is what it is.
Please say that. I don't mean to be arrogant.
No.
I wish everybody could understand the context and the content.
That's how it is. You understand? I always said to people, like my show is called On Writing. It promotes the culture of reading and writing in the communities. Now, people make mistake.
Yeah.
A lot of authors, they will come to me and say, please, I have a book, interview me on your show. And I don't interview authors. So I make it clear to them. I said, guys, my show is not a book review show. Okay. It's a show that promotes reading and writing. In other words, I can invite you, Slee.
Yes.
Without having a book.
Yes.
But if you have a program that promotes reading and writing, then I will call you to my show. Okay. For an example, let's say you are a librarian.
Yeah.
You're not a writer.
Yeah, I'm not.
But you're a librarian.
Yes, I have a clue of...
Exactly. So you are relevant to my show. And you come to my show and share with other people, what do you do as a librarian?
Yes.
How do you teach? How do you help people when they come to the library?
Yes.
That's what we do in my show.
Yes.
So people come to me and say, hi, Onkarabile, you don't want to invite.
No,
guys, you are not relevant to the show. The content of the show.
This is what, guys, we need to make it clear to everybody. I'm scared that I'm creating enemies with this segment. The moment you sit down planning your show, you have a vision and you've got a mission.
Exactly.
There's no bad blood. It doesn't mean that whatever that you're doing out there, it's not good. It's just that it's not relevant to what I do.
Yes, that's how it is. And what is good about this is that if it's Lee, my content is not relevant to Slee, then there must be someone somewhere.
Someone out there.
Yes. Let me look for that person.
You are what you eat. I believe that whatever content that you like, that you comment, it's relevant to what you do.
Yes.
It makes sense to you.
Yes.
We don't have to be in the same world.
No, we don't.
But we can coexist.
Exactly. That's how it is.
Thank
now,
you.
Publishing company does that. Traditional way of publishing, they does that.
Yeah.
They determine if they like your book or what,
Yes.
then they will publish it. Number 2, if they publish it, you only have 10% royalties from your book. Painful truth.
10%
If this
out
book,
of 100.
If this book is 200, like this book, my book is 200.
20 rand.
20 rand yako. So from every sale of the book, you get 20 rand of your book. So, no, but they're not robbing you.
They count from
They are
the
publishing.
ink, the what?
Remember, when you just submitted, you didn't do anything. You just submitted. You just wrote and submitted.
And then the person who's going to read it, you have charge.
They want to do everything for you. They want to edit, proofread,
Which
book
is the
cover
best way
design,
to do it,
marketing,
though.
selling.
20% you got 10% you got.
10%. Yes.
How kwenzakala ngo 40 ke bashare u60 or u30?
No.
10.
They've spent their money, they've invested their money, they need to get their money back also. That's how they work.
Do you believe that in writing, like when there's money here?
When?
In writing, to be an author.
This money in books. I mean, I started the program now. It's called Money in Books, turning your book into streams of income. And I'm sharing with authors how I made 145,000 through my books. I'm sharing that on my program. A lot of people will say, you cannot make money from a book. Authors are starving artists.
I mean, there's AI, there's internet, there's...
That is not true. I mean, I've made 145,000 from my books alone, and I'm sharing with that with authors. So there is money in books, yes. But...
It needs resilience, it needs consistency, and what else?
And the other thing, again, is self-publishing. Self-publishing nowadays is the way to go. Hence, I encourage a lot of people to do self-publishing. It is the one that is difficult because you need to fund it yourself. And a lot of people will talk about, I don't have money, I don't have capital to start, what. So it just needs you to invest.
Guys, just as he speaks about self-publishing, I mean, we're sitting here today because of he saw me publishing myself.
Yes.
I put it myself out there.
Yes.
Guys, Duela said, even if you can have thousands of audience, if you can reach 5, it's enough. Don't care how many people who are gonna like, who are gonna share, who are gonna comment. Keep on. He keeps on talking about consistency. Keep on. Inkinga, we're not patient enough.
Exactly.
And we have created how it should go.
Yes.
Keep on. That's all I can say to you guys right now. As he said, learn to be confident. Publish yourself out there. You started somewhere because of confidence. You didn't think or plan that other people do it for you. It's within you. It starts with you. Be consistent. Be persistent. Be humble. And put yourself out there.
That is how it is. So that's what I encourage aspiring authors to do. Go for self-publishing. And once you start doing something, like you spoke about confidence, once you believe in your craft and you start taking a first step, 10 steps will come towards you, whether from God, whether from people, from destiny helpers, they will come towards you. I know a lot of people who published their books without zero on their bank account. I know a lot of people. Another lady that I know is Sydney Mogopodi. If she speaks her testimony, and I'm actually selling her to you now, that you need to check her out. That lady, Sydney Mogopodi. She wrote a book titled Present Love. She wrote a book written Present Love.
Present.
Prison.
Yeah. Prison as a jail.
Yeah, a jail.
Did she fall in love with a
yes,
prisoner?
exactly. She dated a prisoner.
Guys,
and
those are type of my documentaries. I'm coming
details,
for you, CD.
She details on how she dated. It's a very nice book that let me not reveal a lot.
Yes.
So I know how she published her book. She published a book with no money.
Yeah.
And today she's all over. I was watching her last week on Mzansi Magic.
Yeah.
On a show called, what is the name of the show? It's relevant to talk about the people who have fallen in love with prisoners. That show.
Yeah, I see that one.
Yes.
I see that one.
Exactly. She was one of the people who were featured on that show. She's all over. She was last time during the case, this lady. Nandipa.
Yes.
She was interviewed on ENCA, Sydney Mogopodi, to talk about her view, because now,
she's been there.
Wow. She's all over. Listen to what I'm saying. She's all over.
Guys, Nandipa best.
She's all over CD, but she wrote a book with 0 cent on